Jesus stepped out of the boat onto familiar shores. After the rejection in the region of the Gadarenes, he had returned to Capernaum, the town that had become something of a home base for his ministry. Word of his arrival spread quickly. Soon, a group of men came carrying a paralyzed friend on a mat. The house where Jesus was teaching was so crowded that they couldn't get through the door, but their determination was not easily defeated. When Jesus saw their faith, he said to the paralyzed man, "Take heart, son, your sins are forgiven." At this, some of the teachers of the law who were sitting there thought to themselves, "This fellow is blaspheming." Jesus knew what they were thinking. "Why do you entertain evil thoughts in your hearts?" he asked. Which is easier, to say, "Your sins are forgiven," or to say, "Get up and walk"? But I want you to know that the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins. Then he turned to the paralyzed man. "Get up, take your mat, and go home." The man got up and went home, his legs strong beneath him for the first time in who knows how long. The crowd was filled with awe and praised God for giving such authority to a man. As Jesus left that place, he saw a man named Matthew sitting at the tax collector's booth. Tax collectors were despised in Jewish society, seen as traitors who collected money for the Romans and often cheated their own people. Yet Jesus simply said to him, "Follow me." Matthew got up and followed him, leaving behind his booth, his money, and his old life. Later, Jesus was having dinner at Matthew's house. Many tax collectors and sinners came and ate with him and his disciples. When the Pharisees saw this, they asked his disciples, "Why does your teacher eat with tax collectors and sinners?" On hearing this, Jesus replied, "It is not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick. But go and learn what this means. I desire mercy, not sacrifice. For I have not come to call the righteous, but sinners." While Jesus was still speaking, John's disciples came to him with a question that had been troubling them. "How is it that we and the Pharisees fast often, but your disciples do not fast?" Jesus answered, "How can the guests of the bridegroom mourn while he is with them? The time will come when the bridegroom will be taken from them, then they will fast." Then he used two simple illustrations to make his point clearer. "No one sews a patch of unshrunk cloth on an old garment, for the patch will pull away from the garment, making the tear worse. Neither do people pour new wine into old wineskins. If they do, the skins will burst, the wine will run out, and the wineskins will be ruined. No, they pour new wine into new wineskins, and both are preserved." Jesus was making it clear. He wasn't just patching up the old religious system or pouring his fresh message into old forms. The kingdom he brought required new containers, new ways of living and worshiping. While he was saying this, a synagogue leader came and knelt before him. "My daughter has just died," he said, "but come and put your hand on her, and she will live." Jesus got up and went with him, and so did his disciples. Just then, a woman who had been bleeding for 12 years came up behind him and touched the edge of his cloak. She said to herself, "If I only touch his cloak, I will be healed." Jesus turned and saw her. "Take heart, daughter," he said. "Your faith has healed you." And the woman was healed at that moment. When Jesus entered the synagogue leader's house and saw the noisy crowd and people playing pipes, he said, "Go away. The girl is not dead, but asleep." They laughed at him, knowing she was dead. After the crowd had been put outside, he went in and took the girl by the hand, and she got up. News of this spread through all that region. As Jesus went on from there, 2 blind men followed him, calling out, "Have mercy on us, Son of David." When he had gone inside, the blind men came to him, and he asked them, "Do you believe that I am able to do this?" "Yes, Lord," they replied. Then he touched their eyes and said, "According to your faith, let it be done to you." And their sight was restored. Jesus warned them sternly, "See that no one knows about this." But they went out and spread the news about him all over that region. While they were going out, a man who was demon-possessed and couldn't speak was brought to Jesus. When the demon was driven out, the man who had been mute spoke. The crowd was amazed and said, "Nothing like this has ever been seen in Israel." But the Pharisees said, "It is by the prince of demons that he drives out demons." Jesus went through all the towns and villages, teaching in their synagogues, proclaiming the good news of the kingdom and healing every disease and sickness. When he saw the crowds, he had compassion on them, because they were harassed and helpless, like sheep without a shepherd. He said to his disciples, "The harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Ask the Lord of the harvest, therefore, to send out workers into his harvest field." As Jesus looked at the huge crowds following him, he saw beyond their immediate needs to their deeper spiritual hunger. They were like a field ripe for harvest, ready to receive the good news of the kingdom. But the workers, those who could share this message, were still few. The call to his disciples was clear. Pray for more workers. The need was too great, the opportunity too vast for just a handful of followers. The kingdom Jesus proclaimed would need many voices to carry it to all who were ready to hear. Matthew, the former tax collector who had left everything to follow Jesus, watched his new teacher with wonder. Every day brought new revelations of who this man truly was, one with authority not just to teach about God, but to forgive sins, to heal the sick, to raise the dead, to cast out demons. The old wineskins of religious tradition indeed seemed inadequate to contain the new wine of Jesus' kingdom message. Something fresh and powerful was breaking into the world through this man from Nazareth, something that would require new vessels, new methods, and hearts made new to receive it.